Okay, now let's start our webinar. And welcome to this Lachance webinar themed Hepatopancreas Health, the key to the benefits of shrimp farming. In the shrimp farming industry, as we all know, that the hepatopancreas is like the very important organ and like the metabolic center in shrimp, undertaking core functions such as digestion, immunity, and detoxification, etc. Its health directly determines the success of shrimp farming and the shrimp farming profits. And in recent years, problems such as slow shrimp growth and frequent diseases caused by hepatopancreas issues have become the worries of the whole industry. And today, this webinar has specially invited experts from some key shrimp farming countries such as China, Indonesia, Thailand, and Chile. They will share their knowledge and provide insights and contribute to the development of the whole shrimp industry. Okay, firstly, let's welcome Mr. Peter Chen, to share his analysis on solving core issues and the future trends in different shrimp aquaculture models. Let's welcome Mr. Peter.
Okay, let me share the PPT. Can you see my PPT now?
Yes, we can see. Can continue.
Okay. Okay, good night, everyone. My top I will show you about the analysis of the solution to the core problems and development traits of different shrimp aquaculture models. Okay. Cannot. Oh, again. PowerPoint. Oh, okay. The contents first is a trend analysis, and the second is farming model in China, and the third is questions, and the last one is solution. So, this is annual production of rice ship in China, and from 2019, China product 1.82 million tons rice ship, and 2020 is 1.86, and 2021 is 1.998, and 2022 is 2.1, and 2023 is 2.24. So every year we produce more and more rice sheep in China. And every year we need improved rice sheep in China. And you can see the PPT in the 2019 is 0.82 million ton, but because the COVID-19, so 2020 only 0.67. And every year we improve more shrimp until now. So we add the two data, production and input. We can know how many tons rice sheep in China we need. You can see from 2019 is 2.84, and 2020 is 2.53. And many year we need more rice shape, and in 2023 is more than 3 million tons per year. Okay, next page, I will introduce farming models in China. There are four major one-ship farming models in China. Uh, First one is earthen palm, is a traditional palm. And the second one is greenhouse. We use the plastic member up the palm. And the third is high level palm. They use you can see the black member on the bottom of the palm. And they will make the control waster hold. It can throw out the waste. And the last one is industrialized palm. Is many palm and is technical palm. Okay, we can compare the full model. Okay, the traditional palm, earthen palm, no phase one. So Aquaculture shrimp, just 60 to 90 shrimp, and it can output 0.5 to 0.8 kilogram. But in China, half China is earthen traditional palm. And the second one is greenhouse. It also now phase one. The density is 160 to 260, and it can output 1.8 to 2.6. And the high level palm, there are two phase. The first phase is 1,800 to 2,250 shrimp is very high. And the second phase, it will move the shrimp to the big pond. So the density is only 150 to 225. But this model can output 3.8 to 7.5 kilogram. And the last one, there are two phase. You can culture more shrimp in the phase one because the quality is better than others. So you can culture 3,000 to 5,000 shrimp. And the second phase, the density is 300 to 800 shrimp. It can output more shrimp, 3.8 to 9.8. But this pond is more expensive than other ponds, so they are only 5.6% in China, especially in North China, like Shandong. And we talk about the good points and the model best for who. A traditional palm, earthen palm is low cost. So it's best for small farm with low money. And the greenhouse is protect shrimp from the weather, and it can this water change because they are a plastic member top on the pond, so you can control the temperature and you don't worry about the bird in on top of the pond. So it's best for farmers who want better shrimp and income. And high level pond, you will cleaner water system with the pump and good for care for farming. So It's best for medium and big farmers with money and a good team. The last one, industrialized pond, use a model cleaner system. So it's best for bigger company or research farms. And then we talk about the problem on the full model. First, earthen pond is hard to clean a pond button, and then it will cause Vivero to grow. And the greenhouse model, if the good and bad bacteria like Vivero not balanced, the Vivero will grow easily. And the high level pond, the water does not move well in the corners, so the dirty spot grew Vivero. And the industrialized pond need people to take care of the system. So every day, they should take care. Otherwise, Vivero will spread quickly. So the common problem is Vivero. We can say the Vivero is the main cause of EMS. So it can cause hepatopancreas necrosis and empty stomach ache, white faces, and you would dark spot and a show wood. And the shrimp gill will be the black gill. We can see the TCBS, the yellow one and the green one is viral. Especially the green one is the main cause of EMS. Okay, how to choose to prevent and control viral in the water environment in the past? We can choose disinfectants, but it is a strong irritant and kill everyone like probiotics. And another choice is antibiotics, but antibiotics will cause hepatopancreas damage. And if you usually use antibiotic, it will no drug resistance. So now in China, many farms use this bacterial phage. Shrimp are afraid of Vivero, but Vivero are afraid of bacterial phage. This is the bacteria's Vivero. And then how to deal with the problem of hepatopancreas damage after inhibiting viral growth. So our company product these bile acids. This product can protect hepatopancreas and improve the fat digestion and absorption. Why use bile acids? Because there are 3 steps. The first one, bile acids emulsifier. It can dial the big fat into the small fat. And the step 2, digestion. It can activate lipase for hydrolyzation. And the step 3 is absorption. It can help fatty acids like long-chain fatty acid for circulation. We can see this experience. The left one is control group. A hepatopancreas damaged. You can see the picture, here, not good. And we use 3-gram Runion-2 bile acids per kilogram shrimp feed. We can see the Hepatopancreas is better than the left one. Okay, we can see another experience. We use the small shrimp from about 1 gram, and they are 5-gram control and 0.1 bile acids, 0.2, 0.3, 0.5, and culture 6 days to see growth performance, surround biochemical, diacid enzyme active, and antioxidant system. We use Lachance bile acids to do this experience. Okay, we can see the data. Growth performance, the BA2 is better than other group. We can see the survival rate and the initial weight, final weight, and the weight gain. SGR, FCR is better than other group. This group is using 0.2 bile acids per kilogram. And the surround biochemical, we can see when the bile acids is more than 0.2 gram per kilogram is better than other group, and the HDL also, and AST is 0.5 better than other group, and the ALT is 0.5 better than other groups. This is digestive enzyme active. The data also, if the bile acid more than 0.2 gram per kilogram is better than other group. Okay, the antioxidant system, we can see all data is 0.2 bile acids better than other group like T, AOC, or SOD, and the GSH. Okay, my presentation is finished. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Peter, for this insightful perspectives. And if you have any questions, want to ask Peter, and feel free to ask in the Q&A area. You can tap your questions. Any question about the shrimp farming models, shrimp farming strategies, and trends, we can discuss. Any question? Okay, thank you again, Mr. Peter. Okay, now let's welcome Dr. Romi from Indonesia's AUP to discuss the application of functional feed and the shrimp farming conditions in Indonesia. Let's welcome Dr. Romi. Dr.
Okay,
Romi.
let me share my
Okay.
slide. Okay. Okay. Okay, I think there's a one moment. Can you see the slide or not?
Cannot see the screen.
Can see the screen. Okay. It should be good right now. Can you see it?
You can share the full screen. You can try.
All right.
Okay.
Good.
Okay, now.
So
Please continue.
good evening, everyone. Thank you, Lachance, for inviting me in this hepatopancreas health webinar. Today, I would like to present about the use of a functional feed and also the culture situation of shrimp in Indonesia. So if we talking about Indonesia, you know that we have more than 17,500 islands with at least about 99,000 square kilometer coastline. With this area, we have around 300,501 hectares for shrimp ponds. And for intensive system, we have 9,055 hectares. And for the semi-intensive, we have 43,643 hectares for semi-intensive. And the rest is for the traditional farming system is around 247,803 hectares for traditional system. I hope that your geography about Indonesia is good, but this is just to give you some brief information about the traditional farming system in Indonesia. We know that most of the traditional farm is in the north coastline in Java, and then there is an even distribution in Sumatra and also in Kalimantan. And this is about 240,803 hectares for the traditional farming system. Sorry, and now is for the semi-intensive system. We have around 43,643 hectares. We can see that most of the semi-intensive farm in Indonesia is concentrated in Java and also in Sumatra and Sulawesi, and some of them in also in Kalimantan. For the intensive farming system, because this is the the essential type of farming system in Indonesia. For the intensive, we have around 9,055 hectares for intensive system, and mostly concentrate in Sumatra, Java, and also in Sulawesi. So, from this overview, I think you can you know that about the production system for the shrimp in Indonesia. But if we talking about the export volume from 2017 until 2024, we can see that there is a peak number in 2021 where Indonesia export a lot of shrimp is around 241,000 in shrimp, mostly to South Korea, Malaysia, Russia, and the most export destination is to United States and also to Japan, and that is going down in 2024 because of the global economical inflation and also the purchase power parity for the consumer. But if we can see that in 2025, in the first 4 months in 2025, Indonesia export around 67,000 of metric ton of shrimp. This also marking an 11 year-over-year increase in terms of the export number. And for the export value, even rose more significantly, is around 575 million US dollar, up to 24% year-over-year increase. And this increase is driven by the improved pricing and also the strong performance in value-added product categories. And Indonesia's shrimp export performance in early 2025 also has been driven by the rising shipments of raw faname and also cooked products, especially to the United States, Japan, and also the fast-growing markets like the European Union and also the Canada. That's for the Indonesia export number and value. But if we look at the global shrimp production system from the Global Aquaculture Alliance survey in 2023, we can see that there are several challenges in global shrimp production. And if we look at the top 5 challenges, we can see that the fluctuation in market price and also for the aquafeed cost, market access, and also the disease prevention is become the most challenge for shrimp production. And for the disease prevention is right now is number 4 for the disease prevention. So we know that if we're talking about disease, if we discuss about disease, this is about the interaction between the environment and also the pathogen and also the host. If there is an interaction between the environment, pathogen, and host, then we can see there's a disease. And disease in aquaculture industry is caused more than $6 billion economical losses. And this is a big losses in aquaculture is because of disease. If we talking about shrimp, there is an emerging disease and also the existing disease. We can see that for emerging disease, I think Peter already discussed about the acute hepatopancreatic necrotic disease. This has also become one of the nightmare of the farmer right now in the shrimp farm. And also there is another disease like a cotton shrimp disease, and there is a covert mortality nodulae, and there is a neonatal yellowhead virus, and a lot of disease for the emerging disease. Not only for the emerging disease, and we also have the existing disease. We know that in shrimp, we know about the white spot disease, and also there is a Tora syndrome virus, and there is an infectious myonecrosis virus, there is a Bacillus paname, a fibrosis, black gill disease, and also the isopod infestation. And the impact of disease in the shrimp production, we can see in the case of Thailand, because of the acute hepatopancreatic necrotic disease, the production in Thailand is down significantly from 600,000 until right now is around 200,000. So there is a significant impact on disease in the shrimp production system. But there is not now there is a we know that in shrimp production prevention is better than cure. So one of the preventive strategy is by using the functional feed. And this functional feed, the definition of functional feed is the feed that provide superior performance than if we compare with the conventional feed through the incorporation of the specialty ingredients, or what we call as the functional ingredients that can promote the growth, they can promote the health function, and also promote the survival of the shrimp. And what can be included is one of such as the bile acid. We can also include the bile acid as the functional ingredients in the diet formulation of shrimp. We can also include the yeast extracts. We can use the phytogenics. We can use the probiotics. We can use the nucleotide, prebiotics, and other functional ingredients. So why shrimp is very vulnerable to disease infection, and how is the immune function in shrimp? So we know that shrimp is very high risk animal to be infected by the pathogen. So they are very vulnerable to the disease infection. This is because shrimp is only do not have any adaptive immune function, meaning that shrimp cannot produce the antibody to certain antigens. But however, shrimp have the a specific non-specific immune function like innate immunity. And the first defense mechanisms is the hemocyte, and then it's supported by the cellular immune response, and also supported by the humoral immune response, such as the prophenol oxidase system, there's a clotting cascade system, or antimicrobial peptides. So this is just a brief overview, short overview about the immune function in Vaname. And if we're talking about the hemocytes, this is the first defense mechanism in shrimp. So they are consist with the three type of cell. We know that hemocyte can consist with the granular cell, with the many large, highly retracted granules. You can see on the slides that there is a large granules. This is meaning that this is referred to the granular cell. And if we talking about the semi-granular cells, the granules is smaller compared to the granular cell. And if we're talking about the hyaline cells, there is no granules. So this is to differentiate between the cell in the hemocyte. So we can see that the hemocyte have a three type of cells that can also act as the defense mechanisms in Vaname. So right now, I would like to start about the functional ingredients. One of the functional ingredients that we can use is the phytogenic ingredients. One of my research is by using the hydrosoluble tannins in the feed formulation. And this is how we formulate the diet. We formulate the diet with a low fish meal, low inclusion level of fish meal, and then we include the hydrosoluble tannins with the several inclusion level like 0.1, 0.2, and 0.3. And even though we cannot see any significant difference in terms of the growth performance of the Vaname, but the thing is, by using the phytogenics, such as the hydrosoluble tannins, we are able to increase the number of the total hemocyte count in Vaname. And if compared with the control, we can see on the slide that there is a significant increase in terms of the total hemocyte counts, and also the lysosome activity as the antibacteria in the Vaname. And phagocytosis is really interesting because they have a several function. They can recognize the pathogen. After they recognize the pathogen, and then they can engulf the pathogen and then destroy the pathogen and then release the waste of the pathogen. So this is a very incredible and also very interesting function of the phagocytosis in the hemocyte. So we can see that if you want to see how strong is the phagocytosis function or cell in shrimp, you can see on the slide there is a weak function and moderate function. this is a strong phagocytosis activity, and this is a very strong phagocytosis activity. And then you can see that the stronger the phagocytosis activity, and this is the stronger the hemocyte can also dealing with the pathogen infection. Also, I would like to discuss about the use of another functional ingredients for in this case is a bile acid. I think Peter already explained to you about the function of the bile acid. We know that the bile acid promote fat digestion, and then they can emulsify the fat, activate the lipase, one of the enzyme, and also improve the efficiency of the lipid absorption. And also bile acid can help to protect the hepatopancreas. They can reduce the oxidative stress. They can repair the hepatopancreas injury and also enhance the detoxification function. And one of the nice thing with the bile acid, because they can make liver function is becoming better. They can improve the feed conversion ratio. They can also enhance the growth performance of the vaname and also protect the liver and hepatopancreas function, and also reduce the toxin deposition in the hepatopancreas of the shrimp. So I just bring in one of the research that make my attention here. So this is with the effect of the bile acid, with several inclusion of the bile acid with the low fish meal diet. We know that right now there is a tendency on the shrimp feed formulation. We would like to reduce more the inclusion of the fish meal, but the thing is the fish meal is one of the good ingredients because they have a very good amino acid profile. They have a very good palatability factor. They have a very good growth factor. But how about if we reduce the fish meal, and then how is the feed can work well if we significantly reduce the inclusion of fish meal? Then I see that this is one of the article is very interesting. They supplement with several inclusion of the bile acids is 0.15, 0.3, 0.6, and 0.9. And you can see on the slide that the result is by using the bile acid, even with a very low fish meal inclusion, 10% compared to 25%, they have a very good final body weight. We can see that one of the treatment, there is no significant difference by using the 0.9 gram per kilogram bile acids in the diet formulation with the control diet. So meaning that this, in terms of the cost-effective analysis, this can also increase the efficiency and also the effectivity of the shrimp production system if we can reduce the inclusion level of the fish meal, but at the same time we do not have any negative impact to the growth of the vaname. And look at the survival rate. Even there is no significant difference in terms of the shrimp that have a treated by the bile acid compared to the control treatment. You can imagine as well that if this 15% reduction in fish meal is cost a lot, is can make a farmer can saving a lot on the the production cost, because this by using bile acid, even there is no significant difference in terms of growth and survival rate, then but at the same time the farmers can make more saving in terms of the production cost by using this bile acid. And if you look at the effect of the bile acid in the low fish meal diet on the expression levels of the immunity related genes in the hepatopancreas or the vaname, so by using the bile acid 0.6 and 0.9, there is no significant difference in terms of the expression, and even the expression, the immunity related genes expression is better compared to the control treatment. And now I will also would like to discuss about the other results of my research by using nucleotides. This is one of the functional ingredients as well, because the one that make differentiation between the supplements and additive is this is one of the micro ingredients that have a specific function, and with this specific function we can produce the functional feed. And one of the functional ingredients that we can use in the formulation of the shrimp feed is the nucleotides, because this nucleotides is the building blocks of the nucleic acid. They're made up of the nitrogenous base, pentose sugar and phosphate group. And nucleotides also known as the immunomodulator for aquatic organisms. And this is just to inform you how we formulate the diet for the vaname by including the nucleotides in the diet formulation. So here we also reduce significantly the use of the fish meal. We compare first we compare between 10% and 5%, and then we reduce gradually the fish meal, but then we include the nucleotides with the several inclusion level of the nucleotides namely is a 0.05 and also 0.1% in the diet formulation. And this is the total hemocyte counts. We can see that if we also reduce the inclusion level of the fish meal, but by adding the nucleotides, there is no significant difference in terms of the total hemocyte count. Even with the 10% fish meal with the 0.1% nucleotides have a better, highest total hemocyte count. And for the lysosome activity also have a similar trend with the total hemocyte count. By adding 0.1% nucleotides in the 10% fish meal, the shrimp has the highest lysosome activity, meaning that the shrimp has the highest antibacterial activity during the production system. And for the survival rates after the challenge test, we also challenged the shrimp with the Vibrio parahemolyticus that can become the causative agent of the ESPND with the dose of the 10 to the power 5 colony-form unit per milliliter. And then we can see that with the nucleotides, because this is one of the immunomodulator that can enhance the immune function in shrimp, in non-specific immune function in shrimp, we can see that there is an increase of survival rate in Vaname compared to the control treatment. So there is a ongoing and also there is a growing attention on the use of the functional ingredients to produce the functional feed in order to prevent the disease incidence and also prevent the outbreak of disease during the production system. And another functional ingredients, because this is, I think, become one of the most popular functional ingredients in Vaname, because Vaname also have a special recognition pattern. This is a beta-glucan recognition factors. Yeast can also act as a potential immunostimulation for shrimp. And this is one of our research using functional ingredients, what we call as the double distilled grain solubles. This is a high protein DDGS that still contain with the 25% yeast, and then we use this to formulate the diet. So we include the fermented corn with yeast, this high protein DDGS with 6% and 12% and also 18% inclusion level in the shrimp feed formulation. And then we one of the highest conformated protein, we try to replace the inclusion of the fish meal, and then we try this in Vaname for 52 days. And this is the result. We can see that in terms of the growth performance of the Vaname, we can see there's a significant increase in terms of the performance in final biomass, in final mean weight, and also in the weight gain, and FCR is becoming better with the thermal growth coefficient. This is because the yeast can also modulate the immune function and then enhance the survival rate and enhance the health condition. Then the shrimp can absorb the nutrient better. Then this also convert into the better growth performance in Vaname. And then when we having a challenge test with our colleague in Vietnam, we also challenge with the ESPND, and then we during the 10 days of the challenge test, we can see that by using ingredients, by using functional ingredients that still contain with the yeast to produce the functional feed, we can also see there's a significant in terms of the survival rate compared to the control treatment. And then we have a confirmation study about the use of yeast, because yeast is very interesting in Vaname, because this is one of the special ingredients that can enhance and also modulate the non-specific immune function in shrimp. And then we have a confirmation study with another type of yeast. Right now we use the WM, meaning that this is yeast combined with the monomannan oligosaccharides. We can see that there is a significant increase in terms of the survival rate. Even though there is no significant difference in terms of the statistical analysis, in terms of the growth performance, but we can see that numerically there is a significant increase in terms of the the value, the number of the final body weight, the thermal growth coefficient, the percentage weight gain in shrimp that receive yeast compared to the control treatment. But the most interesting part is the survival rate is significantly increased by using yeast compared to the control treatment. And also the total hemocyte count before and after the challenge test, we can see there is a significant increase in terms of the total hemocyte count as the first defense mechanism in shrimp, meaning that yeast can also modulate the immune function in shrimp. And if we look at the relative gene expression of the prophenol oxidase, we can see that before and after infected with the pathogen, we can see there is a significant increase in terms of the prophenol oxidase gene expression compared to the control treatment. And this is become a very good result in order to have a very good prophylactic approach in terms of the shrimp production system. So this is the take-home message from my presentation today. What to choose, because functional, there are many types of functional ingredients to produce the functional feed, but please define the purpose on the use of the functional feed. Whether you choose the functional ingredients to dealing with the health condition or dealing with the stress condition, or to increase the productivity. So each type of the functional ingredients have a different function. So you need to choose what is your your purpose, whether to increase the survival rate or to increase the growth performance. You can also select the different type of the functional ingredients. For the efficacy of the functional feed, bile acid and also yeast in shrimp has a specific pattern to induce the cellular and humoral immune response in shrimp. So bile acid and yeast can be a primary, the primary selection for the functional ingredients to produce the functional feed. And also, please note that the shrimp do not have any adaptive immune function and only rely on the non-specific immune function. So hemocyte become the primary immune function in shrimp because they are become the first defense mechanism. So in order to have a good survival rate, we need to have a functional ingredients that can also enhance and increase the number of the total hemocyte count in shrimp. And also based on the result of our research in our research group about the functional ingredients to produce the functional feed, the inclusion of functional ingredients, for instance, like bile acid to produce a functional feed, can be the solution for the preventive approach in shrimp industry, not only today but also for the future shrimp production system. So thank you for listening for my presentation, and I'm giving back to the master of ceremony, and I'm ready to answer all the questions that you may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Romi.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Romi, for your valuable insights. And if you have any question about the functional feed strategies or Indonesia shrimp farming, you can type your question in the message box or the Q&A area. Any question? Okay, later you can tap the question.
I think there is a question in the chat. There's a, could you show the table of disease? Yeah, I can show it. So you want me to upload the presentation again, Miss Jackie, because so you want to read the question, Miss Jackie, or can I answer directly for the question?
Yeah, you can answer the question directly.
Yeah. So there's a question from Muhammad Adin Azif. Can beta-glucan help to increase the shrimp immunity? I would say yes, because there's a specific patterns like the beta-glucan binding receptors in Vaname that can also can be induced and also can be enhanced in shrimp, because beta-glucan one of the ingredients that can also enhance the immune function in shrimp. So I would say yes. So one of my research also about by using the pure beta-glucan, by using the immune priming system, where I immerse the shrimp in the axenic condition, immerse with the beta-glucan, and then challenge them. We can see I can also share the result of my publication. So this is I can see that there is some pattern that we can increase the the immune non-specific immune function in shrimp with the beta-glucan, especially if you look at the genes, the non-specific immune function genes in Vaname, for instance, like prophenol oxidase and transglutaminase. By using beta-glucan, actually we can also increase the relative gene expression on the Vaname. Yes, for this type of question, I would like to say and answer yes, beta-glucan can help to increase the shrimp immunity. And then goes to the second question, I think, Ms. Jackie, what is the most important pathogen or you have co-infection? So, because of the shrimp is very unique They do not have any adaptive immune function. So if in the case of Indonesia, the important pathogen that can cause massive mortality in our production system, I would like to say and make a list. White spot syndrome virus has become the first, the very virulent pathogen in our farming system, and then acute hepatopancreatic necrotic disease also become the most important pathogen, and followed by the ESP, the episodic hepatopancreatic disease, and also white facet disease causing by the Vibrio also become important pathogen in shrimp production system. I think I already answered all the questions, Jackie. I think there's another question: is bile acid effective in preventing the onset of ESP disease? I think this is a very interesting, because the ESP, this is a macrosporidia, and preventing the onset. I think I thank you for the question. I think this is become the next plan with the Lachance. I think Lachance can also make another research if bile acid is effective in preventing the onset of the ESP, because if we have a better hepatopancreas condition, and also we can absorb emulsify the fat, and also enhance the liver function and hepatopancreas function in shrimp by using the bile acid, probably they will have a positive impact or positive effect in preventing the onset of the ESP disease in Vanami. Thank you, Jackie.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Romi, for your valuable answer. And any other question? Here is a question from Mr. Hieb Lee. You can see the chatting box.
Oh, yeah. What are the parameters of showing a healthy hepatopancreas? So for the key parameters of the healthy hepatopancreas in shrimp, we can see the gross morphology. If you want to see the visual condition, we can see the color. If there is a light yellow to orange brown, so this is a healthy hepatopancreas. Or you can see the texture of the hepatopancreas. Should be firm and not swollen or mushy. And you can see also the shape. This should be symmetrical and also not a lobe. And also you can see the odor, not for smell. But for the histological indicators for the healthy hepatopancreas, you can see the tubule structure. You can see the R cells condition should be in the normal condition with the abundant vacuoles. And also if you see the B cells should be present but not overdeveloped. And you can see also the F cells, the fibrillar cells, should be abundant in number, but this is indicating a good protein synthesis. And you can see also the hemocyte infiltration should be minimal, or there is no hemocyte infiltration. But if you want to see the key parameters of the healthy hepatopancreas biochemically, you can also see the total protein. If there is a high total protein, this is reflect the good nutritional status. And also if there is a lipid content in normal, there is no excessive lipid deposition. So this is also indicating the hepatopancreas is in the healthy condition. And you can also see the glycogen storage. If there's an adequate and there's an energy reserve, this is also show the healthy hepatopancreas. And there is so many parameters. If you want to see the function link indicators, you can also see the feed digestion. If there is a normal feed conversion ratio, meaning that the hepatopancreas of the Vanami is also in the healthy condition. Is there is low accumulation of the heavy metals or low mortality, and there is no clinical signs of disease. This is also one of the indicators showing the healthy hepatopancreas. I think that's my answer, Jackie.
Okay, thank you, Doctor. Also, another 2 questions in the Q&A area you can check.
From the ingredients, beta-glucan yeast and DDGS, do they provide a positive impact that is visible during application? Or okay, so we can see actually we also have a commercial trial by using this beta-glucan yeast and DDGS. For instance, like DDGS, we also apply this in one farmer that have a pond that heavily affected by the ESPND, never have a very good success in harvest. But finally, by using the high protein DDGS that contain with yeast, finally the farmers can harvest the shrimp in the heavily affected pond. So this is, I think, the success story on using the DDGS. And but by using the beta glucan and yeast, we also have a similar story where we collaborate with the key farmers in Indonesia, and then we convince them to use the yeast as the functional ingredients to produce the functional feed. And finally, they also have a good harvest and then have a good survival rate in shrimp by adding the beta glucan and yeast in the feed formulation. I think if you type my name, and then you can also get all my publication on the use of the functional ingredients and also the functional feed to enhance the survival rate and also growth performance of the Vaname. Thank you, Jackie.
Thank you, Doctor. There's also another question in the Q&A area.
If there is no necrosis and ATM in the hepatopancreas, can it still be cured with the bile acid? I think if there is no necrosis sign or there is no tubular signs in the hepatopancreas, bile acid is to emulsify the fat, and then also but I think this is a very good area to be. This has become the next. I think become the next hypothesis or research for the Lachance to see that first is to see whether the bile acid can also recover the ESP onset, and the second one is also can cure the the necrosis with the bile acid. I think we still do not have any results on this type of question, but this is, I think, one of the suggestions to Lachance to do the research for this one. Thank you, Jackie.
Okay, thank you, Doctor.
Yeah, thank you, Jackie.
Thank you again for your valuable answer. Okay, now let's welcome Mr. VINIJ to share Thailand shrimp farming landscape and the application of bile acid in pond shrimp farming. Welcome, Mr. VINIJ.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Jackie. Okay. Good night, everyone. I am VINIJ TANSAKUL, the Aquaculture Development Consultant. Today, I will talk about the current shrimp farming situation in Thailand and the role of bile acid in shrimp pond management. So I will show you the slide. Okay. Share. The slide okay? Okay.
Okay, it's okay now. Please continue.
Yep. So I will go on. The Thailand. Okay, just we know the Thailand should be the number one of the shrimp exporter in the world. But right now we rank the number 6 in the of the world. The industry we face problem about many problem challenge in the both inside and the country, both inside the country and from the global market. Unfortunately, in the 2025 forecast, the continue of the our production decline in product and the export. If we see, let me see about the statistics in the 2023 up to up to today to this year 2025. In the last 2 years, our production about 260,000 metric ton, and the last year to 252,000 metric ton. So we think that this year we forecast the production will increase maybe 3.2% from the last year, but the export value we forecast it less than the last year. Mostly in Thailand, the farm we have about nearly 25,000 standard farm, and 53% is the one of mine. Only 5% we culture the modern. We show you about the type of shrimp culture area in Thailand. As we show, we have the land along the coastal area from the east up to the south. We have the both coastal area, the Andaman and the Altai. The province, our province, we have about 33 province for shrimp culture, and the area about 56,000 hectare. We have the actually nursery about nearly 1,000, and the farmer, as we show you the last slide. We use the stocking the PL about 33,000 million, and the last year the same. The production as shown already. So we after the EMS outbreak, our production never increased. It's mostly stable. When we introduced the Vanamai repair mododon, we culture the mododon before. After have problem, so we introduce about the Vanamai, and the production we increase, and be the number one of the world. Nearly 300,000 metric ton. After EMS outbreak, our production low, and after EMS outbreak, our production never higher than 300,000 metric ton, as you saw in the blue line. And we expect in the next 5 years ago, in the next 5 years, the production is not higher than the 300,000. So we can see the profile of our production. We understand the status of about shrimp culture in Thailand. As we show you, our production never higher than 300,000 metric ton after EMS. So, and we still have the shrimp import, not much, only about 10%. We found that after 10 years ago, we import the shrimp later than the last 10 years. Every year, about 3.3% less. And the total production nearly stable or stable, the less not much. And for export, you can observe that our export after EMS, we export later every year, lower every year, and about minus 0.37. But in fact, Thailand, we have domestic consumption expand. After 10 years, within 10 years, we expand about 6.3%, and consumption per hectare about 2.2 kilogram per capita. From the graph, from the data, we report the graph. You can see the chain of our shrimp. It last 10 years ago when we up not much, and we expect that in next 5 years, maybe nearly 350,000 metric ton. The green is the domestic consumption. We found that increase, and the orange is the export low. What happened in Thai shrimp industry? because we have the major challenge about we have a disease outbreak, as I told you about the big problem about from the EMS. After EMS, we draw our production low and continuity. The second challenge is the high production cost. So our production cost is the highest in the when compared to other country. After Vietnam, later than Thailand. And we have the trade barrier and the component in the environment, social governance, ESG, the global market volatility, and the climate change and the lack of technology. This graph I will show you the production and compare with the shrimp PL, post larvae stocking. As we show you, after IFL outbreak, the production be low and stocking and we stock the fry. We try to stock the fry, but the efficiency of production of shrimp per million of post larvae is not good. Mostly it should be about 9 to 10 ton per 100 million shrimp. But now we have to up we have only the 7 up to 8.9. It shows that the efficiency of the production is not good. We need to develop. And this because why our production cost high, because come from this. So for Thailand, we try to create a solution and reform. We need technology and by the best solution to develop about our production. The core system, the eco-friendly farming. Develop the disease-resistant shrimp. We have the many good stock from the genetic improvement and try to develop for the disease-resistant wood stock. At the INPA, it's like we stock the many species in the shrimp pond, and because it's the bio control and can reduce the chemical use. We use the smart shrimp, AI, IoT, nanobubble, also the bioethics. It's a new innovation to use for shrimp culture. Okay, and then the last we improve the trackability and standard. We have the AST and EST and ESG. We have the AST in farm and also it's the first in Asia is the AST shrimp feed from Thai Union. We show you about why our export status in the 4 key market. We found that in the United States, you can see from the screen, it's lower than every year, and from the Japan, same. In the EU, but the China also it may be stable and then try to increase. So it means that we lost our global market share. In the last time we have the market share 19%, and now we market share 5%. It's our problem for export. So how can we do? So we have to adjust the market strategy to receive the export. We try to strengthen key market, especially USA and Japan. And the second, we expand to the new market. New market, we have a China, EU. We try to negotiate about the FTA. Because we have to pay tax for import shrimp to EU over 20% now at the Middle East. And we try to produce the promote. We try to produce the premium product ready to eat. From the export now, the ratio between the fresh shrimp and the ready product, the 50-50. And we try to increase because we have innovation and technology to produce the ready product. for eat. And the Bile shrimp ban and the Bile Thai to build the Thai shrimp ban and Thai GL banning, improve supply chain efficiency and traceability, like the global the ESG standard. This one about biotic we have to use in our pond. I will show you the result and the benefit of biotic. In the pond we get the sample from the company. The company get the new part and we use in the pond by first we weight the biotic at the specific rate. Specific rate it show about 2 gram per kilogram of shrimp feed. 2 gram per kilogram of shrimp feed. Then the meat and use the 2 kind of the shrimp feed per day. When after we weigh we meet the 60 cc of clean water for 1 kilogram of shrimp feed, and then we mix thoroughly with the shrimp feed, add dye and the feed to the shrimp. After we use we found that the shrimp with the regular biotic intake, the shrimp show about the exhibit strong and active, and the firm muscle, the shiny shell color. And before harvest, we found that the stomach is full. The hepatopancreas is dark and complete. The shrimp intensive is full thought out. So it's proof of the performance. In shrimp pond, we have the area about 0.6 hectare. Or 6,400 square meter. We're talking 28 shrimp per square meter. And the day of culture, the OT 88 day, ADG of the crop is 0.9 gram per day. It's still much because we not use the growth rate species to promote fast. And harvest size 59 shrimp per kilogram, or average about 23 grams. Total harvest 6.8 ton, or 6,862 kilograms. Survival rate, that's okay. Survival rate 80%. And feed use we use 9 ton of shrimp feed, and FTR 1.31. The biotic we use about 9 kilogram, 3,200 grams, about 9 kilogram. And the cost, we found that the cost only $156. It's the cost per kilogram option, really, it's really less than. During the crop, we have to check the about in the gill, in the hepatopancreas, in the hepatopancreas to check about the condition. And we found that the shrimp health before harvesting is good. And sometimes we have problem about the weather change, have the rainfall, the shrimp have the hepatopancreas not complete and the problem. And we did show you about the water quality in this pond. The next is we also check the microbial culture result, and we check from the stomach, intestine, and hepatopancreas. So it shows that it no contaminate from the VBO, and the very good for the shrimp. After we use the bioactive, we can control the bacteria. Okay, we can summarize what the key benefit of biotic in shrimp farming: improve fat digestion. So we when we listen from the Mr. Peter and Dr. Romi, so it's the same result. I will conclude with improve the fat digestion is the part of cause better nutrient absorption. Hepatopancreas protection, people are healthy liver, not liver, hepatopancreas, and better malting, active feeding. The reduce digestive disease mortality. It show in the high survival rate and great productivity. Stimulate malting and growth, it short the cycle and increase the profit. The maintain feed efficiency. The biotic, I think it's good for the shrimp feed. Use the low feed meal. Because low feed meal, we use maybe the soybean like this. For digestibility, it's not good. The biotic, it provide the cholesterol and can digest, get the nutrient, the shrimp can use better. So to maintain feed efficiency, the result that impact is the lower feed cost and sustain shrimp health. Prevent fatty liver, the stronger, more resilient shrimp. Enhance toxin elimination, reduce sudden death, and improve health. This we conclude from our use the biotic in the shrimp in the pond. The conclusion that the Thai shrimp now our Thai shrimp is at the crossroad. The challenge area in Bath Ocean are clear. With the innovation, the collaboration, Thailand can lead again. So we have used in many innovation and the collaboration in the shrimp ecosystem, because it can let the cost, it can increase the production. But we conclude that it cannot increase production up to the 600,000 metric tons in the past. But no problem, because we try to make the good quality of the shrimp. This our presentation now. So we try to use the new tool like the bioethics, smart farmer, and good strategy. We can go against strong and more sustainability. We hope that. Okay. My presentation is like it. Finish it. So if you have any question, I happy to answer you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. VINIJ. Thank you for the insights from Thailand's practices. Very valuable. And also, if you have any question about the Thailand shrimp farming, you can type your question in the message box or Q&A area. Any question?
So we can tell you about our presentation with from the Miss Jackie. You can request from her.
Okay. If any question, you can type in the message box, and we will answer you later.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. VINIJ, for your wonderful
presentation. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you.
Okay, now next, welcome Dr. Javier from Chile to introduce the hepatopancreas pathology and the dietary factors for mitigation. Let's welcome Dr. Javier.
Okay, Jackie, thank you very much. Let me share my screen here. Just give me a second. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, please continue.
Okay, great. Okay, so thank you also to Lachance for inviting me to share with you some ideas based on we have been discussing this in this webinar about functional feeds and how some feed additives can help in shrimp health and performance. And so my idea now is to show you, let's say, a way of thinking in how to develop, okay, these solutions in order to improve the performance of shrimp. And this is basically based on my experience working in salmon and shrimp. Okay, so I will not talk too much about the hepatopancreas, and we all know that is probably the most important organ in the shrimp, and is involved in the immune response of the shrimp. Is also involved in digestion, absorption, storage of nutrients, metabolism, and basically, if we make a comparison between the liver and the hepatopancreas, certainly the hepatopancreas has much more functions than the liver, okay, in mammals. There are differences in the structure. The liver has is composed of a parenchyma divided into irregular lobules, and it has hepatocytes. The hepatopancreas, on the other side, consists of numerous blind-ended tubules enveloped in a muscle net of longitudinal and circular fibers. And the tubule contains various cell types, as has been mentioned before, the R cells that are involved in absorptive and metabolic functions, the F cells involved in the synthesis of digestive enzymes and blood proteins. Then you have the B cells involved in nutrient absorption, and the E cells that are, let's say, replacing cells. In terms of the histology, the tubules in hepatopancreas are divided in distinct zones. The distal zone, where the R cells are located, the medial zone with differentiating cells, and proximal zone with the F and B cells. So the primary function, as I said before, in the case of the liver, is involving metabolism, detoxification, and storage of nutrients. It also synthesizes protein. It has the detoxified channels and produce bile. On the other side, the hepatopancreas is involved in the digestion and absorption of nutrients, the storage, metabolism, and immune response. It also synthesizes digestive enzymes and lipoproteins. So, it's let's say it's a mix of liver function, intestine function, and pancreas function. So if we look at the healthy hepatopancreas, right, you can see here the tubules, okay, that are very clear and well formed. You have nuclei, and then these tubules are surrounded by connective tissue. You have the tubule lumen, okay, and the vacuoles. So this is how healthy hepatopancreas look like, okay. So if we start looking at what are the factors that normally affect the hepatopancreas, we can see that there are many, okay, in shrimp farming. I will just talk about a few of them, just to exemplify what I would like to discuss. So we have the hepatopancreatic microsporidiosis, EHP, right? If we look at the symptoms, basically this disease affects the performance of the shrimp, but there is also a downregulation of lipid metabolism. So elongation and degradation of fatty acid, the biosynthesis of unsaturated fatty acids, and the metabolism of alpha-linolenic acid, sphingolipid, and glycerolipids are affected. And also there is a reduction in the synthesis of digestive enzymes. Okay. Also, there is a decline in triglycerides, total protein, cholesterol, and glucose. If we look at the histopathology of this disease, where you can see that there is necrosis of the tubules and the epithelial cells. okay? And there is also disruption of the non-specific immune response, okay? Including the decrease in activity of alkaline phosphatase, catalase, GGT, total antioxidant capacity, phenyloxidase activity, and there is also reduction in total hemocyte count. So there is an impairment clearly of the immune response. And then you have acute hepatopancreatic necrosis disease produced by Vibrio parahemolyticus. And this Vibrio synthesize some toxins, PR and PRB, that they form pores in the membranes of target cells, okay, leading to the death by osmotic lysis. And the clinical signs is loss of appetite, empty stomach, and whitish and atrophic hepatopancreas. The toxins induce a necrosis of the epithelial cells, hemolytic infiltration, and the presence of bacteria, leading to the generation of the tubules, okay, which in an advanced stage of the disease results in dysfunction of the hepatopancreas and ultimately death of the animal. Here you can see a picture of histopathology, okay, of EHP, where this is development of the disease from 15 days per challenge up to 90 days per challenge, and you can see in the circles heavy necrosis of the hepatopancreas tubules, and here on the right you can see also severe necrosis of epithelial cells. So there is certainly a heavy damage to the hepatopancreas. Other diseases that can affect the hepatopancreas is the white feces disease. You can see these fecal strings floating in the water surface, coupled with anorexia, lethargy, and significant declines in shrimp health. There is a reduced growth, and of course, this disease affects significantly the performance of the shrimp. But if we look at the histopathology, there is a severe damage in the hepatopancreas, including lysis, necrosis, and atrophy. There is also sloughing of hepatopancreatic microvilli. In the intestines, there is necrosis and vacuolation, indicating excessive cellular death, okay, and tissue degradation. And of course, there is the digestive and absorption of nutrients is compromised, leading to a deterioration of the health and reduce the survival of the shrimp. Then we have necrotizing hepatopancreatitis caused by Helicobacter pneumoniae. Also affects performance, but there is also a soft shell, flaccid body, and black gills, and you can see an empty intestinal tract. And the hepatopancreas will suffer some degenerative signs and atrophy. Okay. In the acute phase of the disease, there is clearly an atrophied hepatopancreas, and there is an inflammatory infiltration of with hemocytes. Okay, so every time we have an increase in the number of hemocytes in the hepatopancreas is an indication of an inflammatory reaction and of the innate immune response. And there is also atrophy and necrosis of the epithelial cells, okay, in the tubules. In terms of environmental factors, we have ammonia, for example. High levels of ammonia can decrease the activity of energy metabolizing enzymes and increase also immune enzymes activity. The immune enzyme activity is decreased. Okay, and there is also an affection to the synthesis of purines, pyrimidines, metabolism, and also of folic acid. And if we look at the histopathology in a first stage of exposure to ammonia, like 12 to 24 hours, there is a deformation of the tubules. There is an increase in the number of vacuoles and thickening of the basal membrane. And then with more time of exposure, there is a large number of vacuoles in the tubules, and there is also more deformation and more damage to the epithelium. Okay, So here you can see a healthy hepatopancreas, right? And then you have the time of exposure on 12, 24, 48, 72, and 86 hours. And you can see how the damage over the hepatopancreas is increasing over exposure time. Another environmental factor could be a low oxygen level, hypoxia. So short-term exposure to hypoxia triggers an adaptive response in shrimp. Hepatopancreas characterized by an increased expression of hypoxia-induced factors and antioxidant enzymes like manganese superoxidase mutase and glutathione peroxidase. And these responses help to mitigate the oxidative damage initially. Low oxygen also reduces overall shrimp growth and survival. And this is due to combined effect of oxidative stress and metabolic disruptions. When we look at the histopathology, the prolonged exposure to low oxygen levels overwhelm the shrimp antioxidant defense, leading to increased apoptosis and histopathological lesions. This suggests a loss of antioxidant capacity and increased cellular damage over time, and of course, the presence of oxidative stress. So this is normal oxygen levels. Here you can see normal and healthy tubules, but as low oxygen continues over time, you can see a reduction in the, or an increase, let's say, of the pathology in the hepatopancreas, leading at the end with a very thinner epithelial cells, as you can see here. Mycotoxins. Now we talk about toxins, and mycotoxins also are important factors in damaging the hepatopancreas. Aflatoxin B1, for example, not only affects the performance of the shrimp, but also changes the color. The hepatopancreas is pale. The activities of digestive enzymes are inhibited, and there is also damage over the immune response, and there is an oxidative stress. And this can be shown here in this study where they tested different doses of aflatoxin from 0 to 4 milligrams per kilo. You can see that the total hemocyte count, the phagocytic activity, and antibacterial activity are all damaged or reduced because of aflatoxin contamination. And if we look at the total antioxidant capacity, the levels of superoxidase mutase are reduced because of aflatoxin, and then there is an increase in malondialdehyde, that is the end product of oxidation. So there is an increase in oxidation because of that. And in terms of histopathology, there is a delamination, vacuolization, and atrophy of the hepatopancreas. There is rupture of epithelial cells, loss of R and B cells, okay? And in the intestine, there is exfoliation of the epithelial cells. Fumonicins, so here is a combination of aflatoxins with fumonicins, but basically, besides the performance damage, there is also loss of star shape of the lumen of the tubules in the hepatopancreas, and there is also necrosis. Both mycotoxins cause displacement of the epithelium, allowing interstitial space and sites with hemocyte infiltration. So there is also an inflammatory response. There is atrophy and deformation of the tubules, and there is also hyperemia and the presence of necrosis of the R cells. Okay, that will be the absorptive cells. And then we have T2. It's also an important mycotoxin, and it also affects performance, of course, and also compromise the antioxidant system, increasing the levels of MDA in the hepatopancreas. And here you can see a study where they tested different doses of T2, okay, from a control to 12.2 milligrams per kilo of T2. You can see that in the highest doses of T2, there is an increase in oxidation, an increase in MDA. The levels of glutathione peroxidase and total antioxidant capacity also increase, even though in the highest dose they are compromised. So the same for catalase, superoxidase mutase, and glutathione. So if we look at the histopathological effects in a middle dose, like 2.4 milligrams per kilo, there is a reduction in the number of R and B cells. There is a marked vacuolation and cellular degeneration, okay, with nucleus swelling, resulting in expansion of nuclear membrane and disintegration of cellular membranes. And then if you go at the highest level, the most toxic one, there is practically disappearance of the cell nuclei, and there is absence of BRR cells, okay? And there is, of course, necrosis and lysis of cells. So it's a very dramatic effect. Okay, so until now, I've been discussing basically those factors. There are more than this, of course, but there is no time to discuss everything. But my idea was to basically understand what is the consequence of these factors into the pathology of the shrimp, and especially on the hepatopancreas health, because that will give us some clues on how to design, okay, some strategies that can help us to cope with these problems through the feed. Okay, so if we summarize here the stress condition like ammonia, nitrates, temperature, salinity, hypoxia, there is a common factor in most of these problems that is an oxidative stress situation. Okay, there is some other, for example, ammonia. There is also dysbiosis in the gut. Okay, so yeah, so and for example, in the case of alkalinity, that I didn't talk much about that, but it's also affecting the immune response. So the mitigation could be basically thinking about how we can support the antioxidant system of the shrimp, and using natural antioxidants seems to be a good alternative, as well as biotics. When I talk about biotics, I talk about probiotics, prebiotics, postbiotics, symbiotics, etc. So those are also options because of the dysbiosis induced by these ammonia and nitrates. And basically, in alkalinity, we can also use an immune regulator in order to improve the immune response. When we talk about diseases, basically, the mitigation factors, for example, in white spot disease, we can use immune stimulants, nucleotides, natural antioxidants like polyphenols, anti-inflammatory compounds, and phytobiotics. In the case of hepatopancreatitis, microporidiosis, we can use nucleotides, natural antioxidants, polyphenols, and bile acids. In the case of acute hepatopancreatitis necrosis disease, also nucleotides, natural antioxidants, anti-inflammatory compounds, biotics, essential oils, short-chain fatty acids, phytobiotics, and bile acids. White feces disease, nucleotides, biotics, and bile acids. And finally, NHP, we can use nucleotides, natural antioxidants, anti-inflammatory compounds, biotic essential oils, short-chain fatty acids, and phytobiotics. So basically, I mean, when I discuss about mitigating factors, is basically looking for those ingredients or those compounds that can counteract, okay, the damage induced in the hepatopancreas and in other tissues by these diseases. Okay, so basically what I'm trying to do is to combine, okay, different feed additives or different compounds in order to protect and mitigate the consequence of these factors. Okay, and in case of the mycotoxins, we can use, in the case of aflatoxin, natural antioxidant, absorbents, of course, of mycotoxins, an hepatoprotector, phytogenics, digestive enzymes, secretagogues, sorry, nucleotides, and bile acids. In the case of homolysis, anti-inflammatory agents, absorbents of mycotoxins and nucleotides, and finally in T2, we can use natural antioxidants, polyphenols, nucleotides, absorbents of mycotoxins. So just a couple of examples of this. Here is a study where they tested the different bacillus strains or isolates, okay, to counteract the infection with Vibrio parahemolyticus. In this case, you can see the % survival, okay, of the shrimp after a challenge. And those shrimp were fed with different strains of bacillus. And you can see that here you have the highest mortality of course, is here in the control group. And there is also one strain of this bacillus, the K13, that also didn't help at all in terms of survival. But you can see that the other strains and the other bacteria or probiotics were able to protect. And some of them, like K3, was the best of all. Then they tested K3, this the best performer here. They tested in different salinities. You can see that the mortality increases significantly with increasing the salinity in the shrimp. However, when you use this strain of Bacillus, that is Bacillus subtilis, you can see that there is a significant decline in the mortality. Another example, in this case of phytobiotics, in the case of hepatopancreatic necrotic disease, again, there is a mix of thyme and cinnamon in this case. That will be diet E, and diet F is oregano and cloves. You can see that both in the percentage mortality and the percentage of carriers or shrimp that carried the bacteria, after the challenge on the survivals, you can see that there is a decline both in mortality and in the carriers with the use of diet E with thyme and cinnamon. Oregano and cloves didn't have much benefit. Bile acids, we have mentioned during the webinar on the use of bile acids. In this case, this is bile acids controlling or helping to mitigate aflatoxin. So in this case, they have 3 treatments: a control group, then a shrimp that were fed aflatoxin, and then aflatoxin with bile acids. In this case, they use 0.3 grams per kilo of bile acids. And you can see that the performance of the shrimp were improved with the bile acids. Also, there is an increase in the digestive enzymes that were declined with the aflatoxin. And then if you look at the total counts of hemocytes, phagocytic activity, and antibacterial activity, there is also an improvement with the use of bile acids when there is a presence of aflatoxins. And there is also histopathological. You can see that with aflatoxins, there is a rupture of epithelial cells and an abnormal lumen in the tubules. But then with bile acids, the histopathology of the hepatopancreas is improved. And then there is also another study with bile acids looking at the effect over digestive enzymes. These are different levels of bile acids from 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, and 0.5 grams per kilo. You can see that the activity of digestive enzyme is improved with the use of bile acids, and also the total antioxidant capacity and the levels of superoxidase mutase are improved, as well as the antibacterial activity. And then the use of bile acids also makes some changes in the population of bacteria in the gut. So you can see that there is a decline in proteobacteria, and there is increase in bacteroidota, basically talking about the phyla of bacteria. So there is also some effect of helping in the dysbiosis induced by some diseases. So to conclude, the hepatopancreas is probably the most important organ in shrimp, and its health is affected by a diverse number of factors, including diseases, environmental stress, and toxins, among others. When the hepatopancreas is affected in its functionality, shrimp performance and health is compromised, with a significant economic impact for the producer. The diverse factors that affect the hepatopancreas health induce different histopathological changes. A profound knowledge of these effects over the hepatopancreas integrity may pose the basis for nutritional interventions oriented to mitigate their effects. And a series of additives and supplements have been developed that will favor hepatopancreas health under challenging conditions, including bile acids, phytobiotics, herbs, biotic products, immunoregulators, among others. And the correct use of these compounds to target specific hepatopancreas health problems is key for their success. So with that, I thank you very much, and I will be happy to try to answer any questions.
Thank you, Dr. Javier. Thanks for the pathological insights and aquaculture condition in Chile. And here are some questions for you. You can check in the Q&A area.
Okay, so I'm looking here at the questions. So from Y Liu, I have two questions. One, as you presented, R cells are lipid droplets, and the function of B cells is to produce the R cells. And then which factors can stimulate the production of B cells or increase the density of B cells in hepatopancreas? And which factors can make B cells damaged? Okay, well, I think that I mean the factors that can affect the B cells I already explained in some of the diseases. But every time you're thinking about how to improve, let's say, the number of these functional cells, I think that one of the important factors is nucleotides. Okay, nucleotides are basically directly involved in cell replication. So even though the body already has synthesized nucleotides in order to, perform this function, when there is a challenge, definitely there is not enough nucleotides being synthesized in the body to counteract this effect. So when you add nucleotides, okay, in the feed, then you support let's say, a more quick, let's say, recover of the damaged cells. Okay, so there is a direct effect there. And then, of course, the other things that you can do is to try to protect the cells from oxidation and inflammatory response. And you can do that indirectly by using anti-inflammatory compounds, antioxidant compounds, and so on. Okay. Then there is another question. What causes aggregated transformed microvilli to appear in the hepatopancreas? Yeah, I'm not sure how to respond to that question. I don't know if maybe some other speakers can help me with that. But yeah, I don't know how to respond to that. Sorry for that. Okay, and then there is another question on, can you explain about melanization in shrimp and how it differs from necrosis when found in shrimp hepatopancreas tubules? Okay, yeah, melanization is basically induced by melanin, and that's coming from macrophages. Okay, so when you have an inflammatory response, you can have this melanization process. Necrosis is more a more chronic effect. Okay, so necrosis is when you have destruction of the cell. Okay, so so melanization is more related to an inflammatory response, and necrosis is of course, a much more severe response of let's say, chronic inflammation. Okay. I hope I was able to respond those two questions.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Javier. Thanks for your valuable answer. Any other question? Okay, thank you again, Dr. Javier.
Sure, thank you.
Okay, now let's welcome Dr. Zhang Wei to present the application of bile acid, eucalyptus essential oil, and Eucommia Ulmoides extract in aquaculture. Let's welcome Dr. Zhang Wei.
Okay, can you hear me? I will share my screen.
Yeah.
Can you see this? My presentation?
You can share the full screen.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Hello, everyone. I'm glad to share my presentation. Today, my presentation topic is that application of the biases, eukaryotics, and Yucca in aquaculture. My presentation divided into 3 parts. Let me show the first part. First part is the application of the biases in aquaculture. So what are the biases? Biases are the main active components of the bile synthesized in liver cells used in cholesterol as raw materials. Biases have 3 main functions. First is protect the health of the liver and the gallbladder, and the second promote the lipid digestion and absorption. Third is the maintain the intestinal barrier. So the components of our product include the CA, DCA, and the CDCA. Let me show the first mechanism of the bile acids. The first mechanism of the biases is that bile acids can protect the liver and reduce the fat liver. Biases can activate the FXR receptor, so the can regulate serious signal pathway, such as the biases can inhibit the expression of the CERAB1C signal pathway, so can reduce the synthesis of the fat in the liver. So biases can also can activate the lipoprotein lipids, so can promote the fat breakdown in the liver. Also, the biases can promote the production of the VLDL, so to accelerate the metabolism of the fat. So it's the first mechanism of the biases. Let me show the second mechanism of the biases. The second mechanism of biases can divide into 3 stages. The first stage is the emulsion. Biases contain lipophilic group that can reduce the large lipid droplets into the smaller particles. So they can increase the surface area for the fat absorption. The second stage is that digestion. Biases can change space structure of the lipids to expose the catalytic group. This group can combine lipid smaller particles and makes the lipid to break down into free fatty acid and monoglycerides. This second stage. Let me show the third stage. Third stage is the absorption. Biacid can carry fatty acid recognized by the epithelial cells and easily through the microvillus surface, complete the entire process of the fat absorption. So let me show the third mechanism of the biases. Third is that the maintain the intestinal barrier. Biases can reduce the proliferation of harmful bacteria such as the Salmonella E. coli to regulate the intestinal microflora, maintain the barrier structures, and the intestinal environment balance. So let me give you a summary of the mechanism of the biases in aquatic animals. The first protect the liver and the gallbladder. Also can protect the hepatopancreas health. The second is to promote the fat absorption and digestion. The third is maintain the intestinal barrier. So I will show some research and application of Lachance biases in aquaculture. Due to the aquaculture animals have so many, I just give you the 2 kinds of the aquaculture animals for the shrimp, for the tilapia. So let me show the application of the biases in shrimp. This research we cooperated with the Ocean University of China. Using the biases to improve the growth performance of lipidopinasvinamin, the cholesterol to save the cost of the shrimp feed. Let me show the result of this experiment. From this table, we can see that when the cholesterol, the level in shrimp feed is 0.20%, adding 200 grams per ton of the biases can replace the 20% of cholesterol. This cholesterol is internal added, external added. So we also do some research on shrimp. This research we collaborate with the Thailand Agriculture University. We collaborate with the Professor Europin. From this table is the design of the experiment. We can say that T1 is the control diet. As the level of the fish oil is 2% without the biases. T2 is the negative diet. The level of the fish oil is 1%, also without the biases. T3 group, the level of the fish oil is 1% with 150 grams per ton with the biases. So the T4 group, the level of the fish oil is 1% with biases 300 grams per ton. So let me show the result of this experiment. From this, the picture, we can see that the addition of the biases 300 grams per ton can increase the SGR of the shrimp and reduce the FCR significantly. So from the right picture, we can see that the addition of the biases helps to improve the health of the hepatopancreas and promote the accumulation of the fat in the hepatopancreas. So I will show some case from our customer. The first case from the Ecuador, from the Nicovita. Nicovita is the top 2 shrimp feed in Ecuador. From this formula, we can say that we changed we reduced the amount of the fish meal and the cholesterol, fish oil, and increase the amount of the chicken powder and the biases. So the nutrition indicators changed a little. So we reduced the cost of the feed. We saved the $4.9 for the shrimp meal. So I think it's very good. So let me say the result. We get the result from the Marisco. Marisco is the shrimp farm in Ecuador. Also the customer of the Nicovita. So after harvest, we get the result. The shrimp got the shrimp with gain got the 35 gram pieces. Survival rate is 75%, and the FCR was reduced by the 0.04. So we calculate the ROI, the value of the ROI. ROI means the return of the investment. The value of the ROI was 1 to 7.19. Means we spend $1 and get more than $7 benefit. So I think the value is high. It's very good. Also, this case from the Ecuador hatchery, I will show a video. So from the video, we can see that the hepatopancreas are filled with the feed. So under the action of the biases, the fat in the feed is emulsified into uniform small particles. It's easy for digestion and absorption. This case from the Thailand shrimp farm. They give us feedback after using the biocid. They get the shrimp better growth performance, FCR improved, and more beautiful color, more weight gain. Third, this case from the India, we cooperated with the Nexagon. Nexagon is the shrimp feed mill in India. It's the top 2. From this table, we can say that the experiment beginning at the 32 days and end on the 67 days. It's about 6 weeks. After the experiment, the average body weight of the shrimp was increased by the 9.12% by adding acids. So we can give summary of the biases in shrimp. Using biases can improve the utilization of the fat by 8 to 50% and reduce the FCR by the 0.03 to 0.05. Also can protect the hepatopancreas, improve the immunity and anti-stress ability. Biases can reduce the disease and improve the survival rate by the 5 to 10%. Also can improve the weight gain by 8 to 10%. The save the 20% cholesterol addition. So we can reduce the cost by $5 to $8 per ton. So let me show the second part about the application and the research of the biases in tilapia. From this picture, we can see that this study on the effect of the added biases in plant ingredient-based diet on growth performance and the lipid metabolism of the juvenile tilapia. So I will show the result of the growth performance. So from this table, you can see that adding biocid 150 grams per ton can improve the growth performance, improve the fat body weight 11.49%, reduce the FCR 0.17, and improve the fat 5%. So we have another research on tilapia. This research we cooperated with the Cairo University in Egypt. This about the effect of the dairy biases in Nile tilapia features a high-fat diet. From the formulation, we can say that the control diet without the biases. The control diet is the low fat. The level of the fat is the 6% fat. And the experimental group is the high fat group. High fat group, the level of the fat is 12% and supplemented with the biacid at the 0, 0.05, 0.1, 0.15, and 0.2 gram per ton. So from the table, we can see that in the high-fat diet, adding 150 grams per ton biases have the best growth performance, improves the fat body weight 14.93%, weight gain 79.45%, SDR 7.2%, and reduce FCR 0.13. So the high fat can significantly increase the fat content of the whole fish, and adding the biases can significantly improve this situation. So we can give the summary of the biases application in tilapia. Use the biases can protect the liver, reduce the burden of the liver, and prevent the liver cells generation. So also can inhibit the accumulation of the liver and abnormal fat, improve the shape. So use the biases can increase the weight gain rate by the 8 to 10% and reduce the FCR by the 0.03 to 0.05. So using the biases also can enhance the anti-stress ability, reduce the increase rate, and increase the survival rate by the 5 to 10%. So also use the biases can improve the fish body quality and flavor. The dosage of the addition is about the 200 to the 400 gram per ton. So let me show the second part. Second part is about the application of the eukaryotics in aquaculture. What is about the eukaryotics? The main ingredient of the eukaryotics is that the Eucalyptus polybracte essential oil. Eucalyptus is a kind of the plant. This plant grows in the Australia desert. So you can see this picture. The leaves are rich in oil glands. This picture shows the production process of the eukaryotics. So we can see that the fresh leaves are shredded. Second, distillation. The third, cooling. This is in this process we can get the oil-water mixture. The fourth, oil-water separation. So fifth, we can get the pure essential oil. So eukaryotics obtained the European Feed Additive certification, also passed the ISO. So we can use the eucalyptus essential oil made into the eucalyptus candy with the sugar consumed by the people. So it means the eucalyptus, also the eukaryotics are very safe for the not only for the human but also for the animals. Let me show the mechanism of the eukaryotics. Is about the parasitism. So eukaryotics can easily to penetrate the biofilm structure of the parasites, reduce the stability of the cell membranes, lead to the disorder of the parasite's functions, makes the parasites unable to get the nutrients, so the parasites will die. I will show some case from our customer. The first case from the Chile, our customer Chile, Aquaculture. So the parasites lice has reduced the commercial value of the salmon, causing the tens of the $million loss every year, and there's no effective way to control it. I will show as a video in vitro experiment on salmon lice. From the video, we can see that the activity of the lice in the 500 ppm group was seriously reduced, and the activity of the lice in the 1000 ppm group was suppressed. So this provides to control parasites safely and efficiently. So the second case from the Vietnam, the shrimp, the EHP. EHP also causes the huge damage for the shrimp industry. So EHP can cause the shrimp slow growth, uneven size, soft cells, and white fish. So use the eukaryotics can prevent the EHP efficiently. Also can support the shrimp gut health, enhance the deparasitism, promote the better growth performance. So according to this test by authority institution, the level of the EHP has decreased from the 10 to the power of the 4 to 10 to the power of the 2, and the shrimp have the resumed normal feed and growth. So I will give you some summary of the main function of the eukaryotics in aquaculture. Use the eukaryotics can repel parasites, antibacterial, anti-stress, promote growth. Also can promote boost the immunity. So let me show the third part. So the part is that the application of the yucca in aquaculture. Yucca is a semi-desert plant imported from the West America. So yucca obtains the FDA certification. So the yucca is no toxic. So the main active of the ingredient of the yak include the yak saponins, yak polysaccharides, yak polyphenols. So we also do some research on shrimp about the yak. From this picture, we can see that the addition of the yak 500 grams per ton can increase the final body weight of the shrimp by 12%, 12.64%, reduce FCR by the 11%, and increase the activity of the amines and proteins significantly. So we also do the research on the effect of the yak on nitrate in water. Also, the experiment shows that the addition of the 500 grams per ton of the yak in the shrimp feed reduced the total ammonia by the 42%, which also can delete the trend of the nitrate increase compared with the control group. So we can give the summary of the main function of the yak in aquaculture. Using the yak can improve the protease activity, balance the intestinal flora, promote the protein absorption, reduce the nitrogen emission. So the product value is recognized by the customers from all the world, from the India, from the Ecuador, from the Thailand and Egypt. The customer, they give us the high praise. So at the end, I hope we can have more communication and more cooperation and get great one-to-one. That's all. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Zhang. Thank you for the wonderful technical sharing. Thank you. And also, if you have any question, you can type your question in the message box or the Q&A area. Any question for Dr. Zhang? Okay, if you have any other questions, we can discuss later and after this webinar. Okay, now thanks again for every experts and the speakers, your valuable speech and effective solution support aquaculture industry. And also thanks every friend's participation. Thank you for your active communication. Thank you all. And today's content and the PowerPoint and also the recording will be shared in our channel, LinkedIn channel, and also YouTube channel. You can subscribe our channel, Lachance Group, Aquaculture, Nutrition, and Feed. And we will share today's content. And welcome everyone. Thank you all very much for your participation. And this is the entire content of today's webinar. Looking forward to see you again next time. See you next time. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. See you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Thank you. Bye-bye, Romi.
Bye-bye. Have a good night.